I think I was like looking at it when I was there, but you know, I'm trying not to add to my stash, but here it comes adding itself to my stash anyway. Hey everyone, it's Natalie, also known as Knitty Natty. Welcome to episode 144 of the Love and Stitches podcast. I had 141 in my head for whatever reason, but I am almost 99% certain it's episode 144. Today is Tuesday, June 14th, 2022. It's been 2 weeks since I last podcasted, so I have quite a lot to show you. I was actually shocked when I was writing down my notes for this episode and I realized I have 3 new projects that I cast on. So very excited to show those today. But I want to share an announcement in the beginning, just in case you don't make it through to the regular announcements part of the podcast, which I have a lot to talk about in that too. I'm going to be podcasting every other week from now through August. So June, July, August is going to be kind of an every other week type of podcast. I will explain more in the announcements segment, but mostly it's just because summer is extremely busy. We have a lot of stuff going on in July for Sock Week, and I'm going to be taking part of July off. So just an FYI, podcasts will be a little bit sparser for about the next 2.5 months or so, and then I will reevaluate and maybe come back to every single week. So expect longer podcasts from here through the end of August because they're going to be less frequent. My goodness. Today I am wearing a cute, one of my favorite knitting t-shirts. This is from Nerd Bird Makery, and I just checked and they still have the shirt, so I'm linking it in the description box. If you want this shirt, you should get it because it's so cute. I absolutely love it. It is a beautiful sunny day. I actually have part of the shades down because even though it's like, I guess it's kind of overcast, partly cloudy, like the sun is so bright, so I apologize if it's a little darker in here than normal. I could not look towards the camera with how bright it was. I kept sneezing from the sun, and so I had to pull the shades down just a little bit, so we'll see what happens as the episode goes on. Last thing, I don't know how loud this is going to be on the camera, but there is some construction going on outside. I don't know what they're doing, but they've been tearing up and repaving our street for like 2 weeks now. It's been really hard to make videos, but hopefully it's not too bad and we can reduce some of that background noise for you, but it's temporary, so hopefully it won't continue for long. All right, that's enough of an introduction. I'm going to drink another sip of coffee and start trying to get my words right, and we'll move on into the project section. I have so many things to show you today. I have somehow gone from like, was it 3 projects? I think I had 3 projects, like 3 whips last podcast, to now having 6 projects. So let's just get started. I'm going to start with the ones that you have seen already and share the progress on those because I have made quite a bit of progress over the last couple of weeks. So the first project is my Unda shawl. This is Unda by Leslie Ann Robinson, and it is a beautiful brioche shawl. I'm trying to get my 2 yarns untangled here. It's got a lovely brioche cable running all the way along one side, and if you look here, since the last time I podcast, which was, let's see, right there with my cute little sand castle. Come here. I think that is from Simply Serving HK. I've kind of been switching out like my progress keepers so that they're more like summery or whatever I'm feeling like at the moment. I will just like switch them week over week as I move my progress keeper because I think it keeps things fun and interesting. But I have been starting to add more brioche cables in. So you can see like this cable runs the whole side here, and then you start to kind of eat into the garter stitch section and the cables start to move over. It is super fun. I have been loving this pattern since the beginning and I am getting closer to the end. I think I have like maybe 80 rows left or something like that. So not too far away from the end, but it will be worn like this. This is the starting corner, but it's like one of the top corners, and it looks like that. And these brioche cables are going to keep getting wider and wider, and they will be like the bottom point here. So I mean, I still have a ways to go. It's going to get bigger. I'm hoping it also grows quite a bit when I block it, but I am just loving how it's doing so far. I think I'm going to take this marker off and pick out a new one for these next 2 weeks, because that just sounds like a lot of fun to do. But let's talk about the yarns. Because I cast on so many new projects, my yarn label bowl is like overflowing here because I have so many different projects with a bunch of yarns. So hang on, let me get things like less crazy. Okay, here we go. So this yarn is Trey Liz, and both of the yarns are the same base and the same dyer, but they're two different colors. One is Beautiful Liar, I think that's the pink, the just solid pink, and the other one is I'm a Grenade, which I believe is the multiple pink. This might be a little too dark. I'm gonna have to raise a shade here the next time I stop for a second. But I've got the project in my Yarnia Black Pearl Magic bag, which I have been loving. I just fold it down when I sit on the couch and work on this. I've been working on it, trying to work on it every other night is my goal. So I just fold it down. And these are two colors. So it's a solid pink and more of a variegated color. And I think they look so good together. A little bit subtle. I think it's kind of hard to tell on camera, the two different sides, but with the cables, you can see a little bit more. That's the solid pink side, and that's the variegated side, which I think I like so much more. I love the pink speckles and the brights and everything. So this is going great. I am on track to finish this by the end of June, which is my goal. I have a lot of knitting to do every time I sit down to knit, but I've planned it all out. I've even got like how many rows I need to do. You know, I'm working on it every other night. I think I just said that, but I'm working on it every other night. So I've got like how many rows I need to do if I work on it 3 to 4 times per week. And I can use the weekends usually to kind of catch up on anything I missed. So that's going great, but I'm on track, and I would really love to finish this by the end of June, because it is going to be the end of the brioche along, which I am knitting this project for. And that's just one of our membership make-alongs for this quarter. Okay, next up, oh, I'm gonna be so excited to see this. Actually, maybe let me adjust the shades real quick and I'll be back. I'm not really sure if that made any difference, but it does look like there's less of a shadow back there, so we'll just say that it did. Okay, so my next project is also one that I want to finish by the end of June, but I have a lot to go on it, so I'm going to be working my little tail off on this, and that is my Tessellation Tea. I've made a lot, well, not quite a lot of row progress, but I'm like into the next section of this, so I'm so excited to share it with you. Oh, and it feels so good because I've actually blocked this. So, you know what? I did make a lot of progress. I actually don't know for certain that's where I was last time because I blocked it. I had to take my markers out, so I don't really know where I was. But I have, since last podcast, finished the color work, split for the sleeves, and I am working on the body. Let me talk about the yarn first, and then I'll talk more about the pattern itself. So for my contrast color, I'm actually finished with the contrast color. I have a lot left, so I'm trying to think about like, do I want to wind off part of it as like for my granny stripe blanket, my scrappy blanket, or do I want to just keep all of it and potentially use it later, throw it in the scrappy bin, put it in a scrappy place to send to somebody else? I don't know yet. I'm not even certain how much I have, but it looks like maybe 40 to 50 grams. But this is Malabrigo? Yes, Malabrigo sock in the color Eggplant. It's a really, really rich, deep, deep, deep purple, almost reads black or dark gray, but it looks really, really good. So I guess I might just like put the tag in here and deal with this because I'm not going to need it for this sweater anymore. So I need to figure that out, what I want to do with that. And then the other yarn is Madeline Tosh. You can see those look so different, right? This is Madeline Tosh Twist Light in the color Copper Pink. And as you can tell from how it's kinked up and like wound in a ball, I have used this yarn previously and then I ripped it out. So it's all kinked up and I don't have labels anymore. But I do have some very like different looking colors, even though they all are the same. I don't remember if they're the same dye lot or if there are dye lots because it was a while ago when I purchased the yarn. So let's talk about the sweater. So this is the Tessellation Tea by Stephanie Aaron. It was so fun because we actually interviewed Stephanie in the membership this month. And so we got to talk to her and I got to show her my tea and she had it on a mannequin in the background of the interview, which was super, super fun. She just came out with a new dress pattern, by the way. So if you don't follow by Stephanie Aaron, she's a fantastic crochet designer. So I have done a couple things differently from the pattern. So first, I actually removed an entire repeat of color work. That is because my row gauge was bigger than the pattern row gauge. My stitch gauge was on point, but my row gauge was not. And I just, because I was getting stitch gauge, I kind of did the math on the yoke and figured out like, okay, I can either have a yoke that's about 1.5 inches longer, or I can take out some of the like plain non-color work bit at the end and make it only like 1/4 inch longer. And I was like, okay, that'll work actually really nicely because then it won't be too long. And then I realized once I had done this was the second to last color work repeat for my size, I was like, you know what? I think if I stop the color work here, I'm actually already at my stitch count that I need. So maybe I can just do enough plain rows to have it be the right yoke length. So I did a little bit of math there and figured out that that would actually be the best thing. And I was trying it on too as I went. I was like, that actually is going to be the best thing, because how it ended up for me is that I really only had like a few more rows of plain non-color work than the pattern originally had, but I still had the same stitch count and I still was able to achieve the same length for the yoke. So if all of that sounded a little bit like, wait, what? It was a little bit of math and figured it all out and tried it on and felt good about it. So I did make an adjustment for myself there, and I think it all looks like the color work all falls still nicely. That was my other thing. I kept checking like, how far down is the color work supposed to go? I was looking at like the project pages and seeing it everything. So it all turned out nicely. Then I had another problem. I started doing the plain stitches with no color work, and I actually did 2 swatches. I did a color work swatch and I did a plain swatch. And before blocking, they had different gauges, but after blocking, they had the same gauge. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna use the same hook then for the color work and the regular stitching, which for me is not the case when I do knitting color work. I need a larger needle for the color work, a smaller needle for the regular stitching. And I thought that might be the case in crochet too, and it is sometimes. So definitely check your gauge on both. But when I actually started working on it on the garment, I could just tell, like, you can even see now, like, how it's a little bit like wavy here. And so I was measuring my gauge like on the garment itself with the color work and with the plain stitching. And I was like, I don't know, it's just really hard for me to tell. I don't think I'm gonna know for sure unless I block this. And if I block it, then I can measure stitches in the color work, plain stitches, and compare them. If they're the same, then I can keep going with my hook size that I have. If not, I can take back the plain stitching and then go down a hook size. And I did this again because I noticed like rippling from the changing from here color work to non-color work. And blocking a crochet garment that's unfinished is so much easier than a knitted one because I didn't have to transfer my stitches at all. All I did was take out my metal stitch markers and replace them with plastic since I let this soak in the water and soap, and it turned out so great. I was able to block it, and it turns out that my gauge is actually the same for both the color work and the non-color work. I think it's just because there's some increasing still at the bottom of the color work, so like it still needed some rows to kind of like disperse. There's still a little bit of rippling in the sleeves, but when I measure the gauge, it's the same. So I think it's not gauge, it's an issue. And I have got just a little bit done past the sleeve here. I've got a ways to go, but I'm so glad I blocked it too, because now when I put it on, actually I'm gonna take the stitch marker off and I will show you how it looks. Now when I try it on, I can just tell how nicely it's fitting. I love that you can try on crochet garments without having to put them onto a other needle or anything. So I think this is all looking really, really nice. Oh, it's kind of funny. My shirt is like almost the same color as the cast on. So like you're seeing my shirt and not the neckline, but the neckline like all looks really good. I've been asked a few times, like, is this drapey and stretchy? And it is. It's so amazing. Like, I just don't have a lot of experience with crochet, but look, I think it's looking really, really good. I think it's like fitting nicely. The sleeves, see, they just have a little bit of ripple, but I'm kind of wondering, like, once I actually make the sleeves, how that will do. I'm not sure. It may just be that I have too many stitches there, but we're just gonna have to wait and see, because everything else seems to be looking good, and I'm really happy with it. And I actually really like the colors. I think it's looking really, really nice. So I am just moving and grooving on the body of this now. It's quite a bit faster without the color work, but I did have like basically a whole weekend where I just left this blocking and didn't really know if I was going to be able to carry on. Actually, that's going to be a tip that I'm learning for myself, and then for y'all too. Like, if you are working on a project and you just like aren't really sure about the next step, like you're not sure, like, oh, maybe do I need to rip out? Do I need to do something? Like, take the weekend off. Stop working on it for a few days. Decide when you're going to come back to it and make a fresh decision then. I feel like that was the best thing, because if I hadn't done that, I would have like probably hemmed and hawed for like another week about, you know, is the gauge right? I would have like crocheted farther and then finally eventually blocked it, which is what I needed to do in the first place, is just block it and see. And luckily it would have worked out for me because the gauge is good. But if it hadn't, I would have been really upset with myself that I hadn't like fixed the problem then. So there's a bonus tip, like take the weekend off, take a few days off a project if it's not going well, and then come back and make a decision. So the one other thing that I'm doing, because I do have skeins that are quite different in color, I am doing kind of a fake helical method here. I don't know if this is a real thing in crochet or not, like if it's a proper technique, but I just made this up on my own, or like I think I made this up on my own. I at least don't remember ever seeing a tutorial on how to do this. But basically I have my two balls attached here. And just like in helical knitting, where in the helical knitting you slip 3 stitches, you can't really like slip or skip stitches in crochet. I basically just go 3 stitches past where I had the previous color and then drop the one I'm working with and pick the other one up. So it like moves 3 stitches over, and then use that all the way around, go 3 stitches past it, drop it, pick up the next one. And I change the yarn in the middle of a stitch. So once I have 2 loops left on the needle, I pull the previous color up and finish off the stitch with that. So what it looks like on the inside is this. You can see that like this is where I guess picked up the next color, went 3 stitches past it, picked up the next color, dropped and changed. Went 3 stitches past it, picked up the next color, dropped and changed. And so here, this one's just waiting for me. So when I come back around, and you're looking at the inside, but when I come back around here, here's my dropped one. I'll go 1, 2, 3. Actually, I think I go 1, 2, and on the 3rd stitch past, or 3 stitches past, I don't remember. 1, 2, 3 stitches past it. And then when I go into the next stitch, I do like part of the stitch. When I have 2 loops left, I'll drop the other one I'm working with and like carry this one across and pick it up. So instead of having one place at the beginning of the round where I'm like always twisting and changing the yarns. They're getting moved around. The beginning of round, at least for the color, is changing every single row. And I have something I'm doing helical knitting on too, so I'll explain it more then, but that seems to be working quite nicely to kind of spread out these kettle dyed colors. Woof. Okay, that was a lot on that project. And we have more to go, so let's move on to the next one. Oh my gosh, okay, I'm so excited to show you my twisted T-shirts. I actually spent the weekend with the designer, Brianna Lupino, which is really fun that we have become friends. And so let me show you what I have done. I don't think I have a progress keeper on this at all because the last time I showed it, I maybe had cast on and done a few rows, but I've done quite a lot since then. Oh yeah, last time I had it on 2 circular 32-inch needles, which was such a mess. I was waiting for my 24-inch needles to come in. They came in and it made the project so much more enjoyable. Okay, so these are my Twisted Tea shorts by Brianna Lupino, who's the Little Wolf Knits. The yarn is not her yarn, so she also is a yarn dyer. The yarn is from Fangirl Fibers, and it's actually 3 colors. I will explain. So for this is a, what is it called? It was like a kit for the Walt Disney World 50th anniversary. So the first color, the ribbing looks like this on the waistband. I'll also use it for the bottom of the, like each leg. And which one is it? I have I have a photo of all 3 yarns with their labels on because I knew I wouldn't remember, but that one is like maybe Celebrate the Magic. I'm not really sure. They're all Fangirl Fibers. One is called Iridescent. That may be the bluey purple one. And one is called Happily Ever After. May or may not be the pink one. I'm really not certain, but these are the 3 colors. I've got it in one of my 3 skein float totes. So I did this for the waistband and I will use it for the ribbing on the bottom of the legs. But for the main part of the shorts, I needed 2 skeins. And I didn't have 2 skeins, but I really wanted to use these 3 yarns together. So instead of using or like striping or doing anything else, I am doing helical knitting with the bluey purple and the pink, which is 1 row striping, but a little bit different. Because the 2 colors are so similar, getting so tangled, they kind of blend together and really kind of just look like they're 1 yarn almost. A little more pink, I guess, because we've got the pink in there, but I feel like they really just look like 1 yarn, and I'm really, really happy with how it's turning out. So since the last time, I have done the waistband, which is joined together. It's a doubled up waistband, and I knit this super long I-cord, which is now encased inside of here. So I can use the I-cord to make things a little bit tighter for my shorts. I'm planning to wear these like around the house, so I'm not super worried about them being like, you know, I don't want my pants to like fall down, but if they're like a little loose, it doesn't matter if I'm wearing them around the house. And then now I'm just working on the main body of everything and doing my helical knitting. And so I've got some on the side here. It's like a beautiful little detail where you are increasing out for your hips. So I'll do this for a while, and then I think like you split for each leg and then you do some more ribbing. So I feel like this is going pretty fast. I did a lot of this yesterday. I got to meet up with a few different knitters at a coffee shop. So that helped me get a lot done, which was really fun. Okay, let me show you the helical knitting really quickly. So right now I am knitting with the purple yarn. So I'll just knit around until I get to be 3 stitches before my pink yarn, which is right here. And when I get to the pink yarn, I'm going to slip 3 stitches. 1, 2, and 3. The last one is the one where the pink yarn is attached. And then I start knitting with my pink yarn. And this just moves the beginning of round every time. So instead of having the beginning of round have like your 2 yarns twisted up on each other, it can get like tighter. I don't know, it just doesn't like flow as nicely. Helical knitting and sort of helical crochet that I'm doing just makes everything blend together nicely. You have no like twist or anything or tightness in your yarn. It just looks very, very seamless. And since I have increases, I have been able to kind of keep up with like, basically when I switch the yarns, that segment is like 1 row behind everything else, but it's pretty easy for me to see like, okay, it's been X number of rows since I've done the increases. And since whenever I'm using pink, I'm increasing. Whenever I'm using purple, I'm not. So it's pretty easy for me to tell how to do it. I was a little worried about that part of things, but it's working out really, really well. So Twisted Tea Shorts by Brianna Lapino. Now, I'm not sure yet, but if I have yarn left over, there's a good chance I'm going to be making a top to go with it. She does have a Twisted Tea top, which has like the twisted, it's the Twisted Tea because it's got twisted rib. It's got like twisted rib here on the bottom and on the sleeves. Super cute, but she's got a tank top called maybe the Beachcomber tank. I will have my project page linked down below so you can go to her designer page. But I'm thinking I might not have enough yarn for a tee, and I kind of want to do a tank top and have like a cute little set of my like Disney set. So I'm going to be debating that once I'm finished with the shorts. Okay, we're 3 projects in and we've got 3 more to go. So these are all new since last week. Let's see, what do we want to start with? Okay, so I have, where is it? I haven't touched this one in a minute. I have a new cowl that I am working on, and it is the Inclinations cowl by Andrea Mowry. As you can see, haven't done a whole lot yet, but I am making this cowl with my friend Amy. We went to the Maryland Sheep and Wool Festival together, and we both got this yarn. Where is, wait. Yes, okay. We both got the show color for Maryland Sheep and Wool 2022, which is Kite Surfing from Miss Babs. It is Yummy 2-ply, and where's the label? There we go. Kite Surfing, Maryland Sheep and Wool 2022. So that was it last month? I guess it was at the beginning of May. And then we got a pack of the Yummy 2-ply toes, which is a gradient of 6 different colors, and we split the pack. So we each took 3 pink colors. So I've got these 3, she's got 3 that are kind of like, I don't remember if hers are like the lightest one. We kind of went every other one in the pack, and that was called like, I think each of them have their own thing. I also took a picture of these and posted it. These are the 3 colors that I have. And I think the kit overall was called Cassiopeia, which is the center one here. One of these must be called Cassiopeia as well. Cassiopeia? See, I don't even know what that means. I know y'all are gonna know like what the reference is, but I have no idea what that means. I don't know, it sounds like a constellation to me, but that may be really silly and completely off. Anyway, I love pink, so I don't really mind what the reference is, as long as it's not something bad. I am okay with it. So this is my first time doing half fisherman's rib, which has been really fun. I have done fisherman's rib before, but never half fisherman's rib. And the difference is like, this looks like kind of like a ribby knitting on one side, and on the other side, it's like a little bit different. It kind of looks like half. I don't know, it's just different. It's really fun, and Andrea's pattern is great. She's got tutorials in her pattern, so you find out exactly what to do, but it's nice, and it's a nice and easy pattern, which is why I think I'm not working on it as much, because I'm really enjoying my more challenging projects and trying to get through those by the end of the month. And this one I'm not worried about finishing this month. So I started with my darkest color, and this is the Inclinations cowl. She's also got a shawl. So the cowl is kind of like an interesting shape. It's knit flat, and then I believe you seam it. I haven't gotten that far yet, but I know I'm gonna be like increasing for a set and then working straight for a set and then decreasing for a set, I think. There's 3 sections and I've got 3 contrast colors. So I figure as long as I have enough yarn, perfect, I'm going to switch colors each section. We got this idea from the ladies at Miss Babs. One of the people working in the booth was wearing an Inclinations cowl, knit the same way, different colors, but with one of their main colors, and then 3 colors from one of the Yummy 2-ply toes. So I think this is a really fun alternate to the yarn the pattern recommends, which is Spin Cycle, I believe. If you don't have Spin Cycle, if you don't want to use Spin Cycle, or you don't have it, access to it, or you just want to use like some mini skeins in your stash, you can do this too, you know, use 3 mini skeins. These I believe are 30 grams though, they're not 20 grams, so they have a little more yardage on them. But you could do any number of colors as a contrast color and just change when you run out, have one main color, and I think it's really, really, really fun. So I'm enjoying that, and I'm gonna hopefully work on it a little bit more this week. Now that I've kind of settled in on a schedule for my projects that need to be finished, I feel more confident like alternating with a project that's not a deadline. I can like start working on this one again. So that's brand new for this week. I also, where is it? Did it not get in here? Have I pulled it out? Well, it's bizarre. Oh, you know what? It's on the couch because I thought I was going to finish it before I started podcasting, and I didn't. So let me run and grab that. All right. I got it. So I started and thought I was going to finish, but then just left the last part and I haven't finished it yet. So I guess I'll have a finished object next podcast. But I started a crochet yarn Cozy Light, which is one of my patterns that is coming out in almost a week. It's coming out on June 24th, 2022. It will be out. My gosh, what is happening? Here we go. So I am working there's 2 versions of the pattern. There's a ribbed version, and then there's just a plain single crochet one. And I'll talk about more about it when I talk about announcements, but I am working a ribbed version in some self-striping yarn. This is Malia Made It. It was a Valentine's color from a long time ago, but I am testing out we're testing the pattern right now, and it is pretty much ready to be released, but June 24th is the date. And I just wanted to try one more version, just a little bit taller, because we were realizing that we need a little more length on these ribbed ones, because when they stretch out, they lose some length. And so we're just, you know, always tweaking and making things better until it's time for the pattern to be released. So I am just about where I need to do the I-cord edge to finish things off. It'll look like this. So yeah, I just didn't feel like doing the I-cord over the weekend. So I'm like, you know what? I'll just save it and I'll finish it for the next podcast. But Crochet Yarn Cozy Light, it's coming out very, very soon. And it's a fun and quick pattern. I love how self-striping looks in crochet. It seems to be, I know these colors are pretty similar. When it gets to the brown, it's not quite as like blendy, but it's so different looking than in knitting. I mean, look at the stripes. They're still striping, but they're just more like blended, almost like a watercolor or something. So it's been really fun to kind of test this out in different yarns, different leftover yarns. Most of these I knitted socks, and so then to crochet something with them as well is really, really fun. So just a little small project that I was trying to finish over the weekend and did not succeed. That's okay, I will finish it. Okay, last project. I have it in my Sock Week 2022 bag from Stitching Plaza, and my little enamel pin is on there. This is all Sock Week stuff, except for this little basket that I have it in, because I was walking around and knitting, and so I use this now to like fasten it to my backpack strap. Where's the label on this? This is from Cottontail Farm. Yeah, Cottontail Farm. I did a little Instagram reel on like how I use this, so go watch that if you didn't see it. Okay, here we go. I've got my yarn in a yarn cozy, but I am making a pair of socks. This is Olivia and Oliver fibers out of the Netherlands, and this is one of the exclusive Sock Week colors called Baby Shark. Where's the, yes, right here. Baby Shark is the main color, and then I'm going to be adding in the contrast color Bellini. What's fun too is I have a mini yarn cozy that's almost the same color. It's a little more orange. This one's a little more pink, but I was like, that's perfect. I love being able to match those. So over the last couple weeks, I knit a swatch for my socks because this is a brand new base for me. This is a 75-25 2-ply yarn. Most of the 2-ply yarns that I've used have either had like Selena in them, or they're 100% merino, or they're 80-20. So I wanted to swatch it, see what my gauge would be before I started my socks. And I'm glad I did because it ended up being a half stitch different per inch than my gauge with 75-25 4-ply yarns. So there you go. That can definitely make a difference in something small like socks. So I have cast it on and knit a bunch of this sock. I'm almost done with the leg, and then I'll add in the contrast color for the heel, maybe the toe as well. And you may be wondering, well, doesn't Sock Week start in July? Why are you starting your sock now? So Sock Week is all about knitting one sock. It has to be started in Sock Week, but it doesn't have to be the first of the pair. So if you want to have, if you have some socks that are lingering, that are like half finished, one sock is done, the other one's not started, you can use Sock Week to help motivate yourself to finish the pair. So as long as you start the sock, the singular sock in Sock Week and finish it by the end, then you're good. So I thought, you know what? I have all 3 of our sponsors' yarns. I do want to work with all of them, but last year I waited until Sock Week to start them. And so I had like all of July and August, I was like trying to finish up all the socks that I started during Sock Week. So I thought, some of y'all out there are really clever. You started your socks before Sock Week, or you were doing summer sock camp with the crazy sock lady. And so you have socks already started, and then you use Sock Week, since it's really short, to just finish a pair of socks. So I thought, you know what? I'm gonna try that. I don't have a specific goal in mind, but I'm gonna start one sock, and if I finish it, I will start the first sock from another one of the yarns and just see what I can get done pre-Sock Week, and then use Sock Week to cast on and do the second socks. So I'm keeping good notes of how I do all these socks on my Ravelry page. This is a perfect fit sock, meaning that I'm using my perfect fit formula that I teach in order to make these. So I've measured myself. I use the formula with my gauge of 8 stitches per inch. So you're gonna kind of see some like things you might not normally see on socks, like increases before the heel and stuff like that. And this really, really stretchy slip knot cast on. So I have been really liking trying out a new base with my perfect fit formula to see how everything knits up. So loving this. I'm going to definitely grab, I need to pick out which one I want to use. I've got the Fangirl Fibers Sock Week markers. So I need to put, maybe I'll do this one. I really like this one. That's our cute little Sock Week logo from Allison. It's actually clear, but like it is picking up color. It's iridescent. So I'll throw that on there. Yeah, so I'm just, I'm not really worried about working on these socks. They're my out and about knitting. If I have to get on a train or something, or go, I go meet somebody and it's too much to bring my twisted T-shirts, then I will bring this. Probably should bring the Inclinations cowl and put some stitches in on that. Oh, I did a lot of these socks when we went to see a Broadway show, but I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm going to talk about all that in life. So let's move on. I think that's everything. Yes. This is a full-on project podcast, isn't it? Let's move on to the next segment. I have some acquisitions to show you. since I got quite a few things in the mail over the past couple of weeks, I just wanted to show them off real quick so you can see some of these amazing makers. So the first thing is I have a brand new bag from Black Pearl Magic. It's one of the largest sizes. I think this is a large size, the vinyl pink one. I was so excited to get this right before I went to the beach this last weekend because I thought it's vinyl, it's waterproof. I can bring it with me to the beach. If it gets sand on it, I can like rinse it off. But we actually didn't end up getting to go knit on the beach or anything. So I did bring it with me and it fit, I think I fit my twisted tea shorts I took out of my float tote, put them in here. I also put like my sock project and my crochet cozy all in here because I was like, if I'm bringing this big of a bag on a weekend trip, it has to fit lots of projects in it. And it totally did. It's one of the ones with the handle, which is nice. It makes it easier to grab, and it's got all the fun iridescent hardware on it. Anyway, I'm not sure if Shayla has any bags in her shop right now because I know she makes them and sells out of them really quickly. But if you have not heard Black Pearl Magic, make sure to give her a follow on Instagram and keep up and try to get one of her bags. She also sent a unicorn, let me see, I think it's like a unicorn horn stitch marker, which is so adorable. I love it. So now I have a fun cherry, maybe I'll use that as one of my new markers. I feel like when I get new bags or new markers, I always try to use them first, and that's what happens. Like you get new stuff and then you use that and then you're like, oh yeah, I forgot I had X, you know? I need like a rotation. I need like a group that like we rotate our like project bags and stitch markers like to the next person so it always feels new and fun, right? Okay, the next thing I have is, oh, I'm excited to share this. So you may know, if you've been following for a while, you may know my friend Brooke, who lives in Dallas. She was my roommate for 3 years. She was in my wedding. She's my maid of honor. So we're really good friends. We were teachers together. She's still a teacher. And then Brooke and one of her teacher friends got together. I think maybe Brooke taught her to knit. I don't know. I may be telling this story wrong. Not my story to tell, but they got together and they started a yarn dyeing business. It's brand new. It's so new. They don't have a website, but you can definitely follow them on Instagram. They are Wanderlust Fiber Co. out of Dallas, Texas. And they sent me one of their Pride kits. So June is Pride month, I believe. And so this was their Schools Out for the Summer colorway. They actually don't have any more of these for sale. I think there are still some at Juju Knits, which is in Fort Worth, Texas. And Juju Knits is doing a fundraiser with the yarn. So if you buy the kit, it's like a sock kit. So it's got colors of the rainbow plus a sparkle white mini and then some goodies. I'll show those in a second. If you buy the yarn at Juju Knits, they are donating their profits to I want to make sure I get this right, to the LBGTQ Saves, which is a local organization in Fort Worth. So if you like that color and you want to be able to donate and share, you can go to Juju Knits. But I wanted to share that with all of you because I know you're like, wait, you said they don't have any more yarn unless you're in Texas. But they are, again, they're so new. They're starting out. They're going to be doing a Halloween sock kit coming up soon, or a Halloween kit. And they're also going to be doing a trunk show at Juju Knits where you can pick up the Pride set. And I feel like I didn't show that very well. So it's 6 colors of the rainbow plus the sparkle mini. They look to be all about 20 grams. Yeah, 6 times 20 grams in 75-25, 1 times 20 gram in sparkle with Stellina. So there you go. So give Wanderlust Fiber Co. a follow on Instagram so you can see them as they grow. Here are the goodies that come in the kit. Just in case you are in Fort Worth, you can go to Juju Knits, I've never been there. They opened up like right when I was moving, I think. So I never got to go. So there's some stickers and a little like tassel marker. And then this one, oh, I forgot to say, so Brooke, my friend, and then Allie is the other half of Wanderlust Fiber Co. And I think Allie made these rainbow cake stitch marker. Super cool. So I love that. Love being able to see friends start their own businesses and grow. It's really exciting. But you can keep up with them on Instagram for now. And then if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, go check them out at Juju Knits. Okay, the last thing that I got in the mail is some fluffy goodness. This came to me from Wool and Grace in Summit, New Jersey. You may have seen Wool and Grace on the New Jersey Wool Walk video. That was a really fun one. We went to like 9 stores in New Jersey. And so Wool and Grace sent me this Emma's yarn, which, hello, could not be a more perfect color for me. I love pink. I love pink and purple. Emma's yarn is out of Florida, and I will have Emma's yarn and Wool and Grace linked so that if you want to do some shopping with them, you can do some shopping with them. This color is called Sugar Coated. I have no clue what I'm going to do with it yet. They did send me a pattern for a rectangular shawl, but I feel like I may try to get, it's 2 skeins of yarn. It's a slub and a mohair, right? Yes. I feel like I could maybe do a top out of it. So I'm going to hang on to this and think about what I want to do, because I really do love this colorway, sugar coated. It's so, so pretty. I think I was like looking at it when I was there, but you know, I'm trying not to add to my stash, but here it comes adding itself to my stash anyway, which I love and appreciate. I'm just being silly, but I don't know what I want to do yet. So if you have any ideas for one skein, it had to be something small, like cropped or sleeveless or something like that, because I mean, I have a decent amount of yardage, but I don't know. So any ideas for slub and mohair, one skein of each that I could do as a garment, let me know, because I would really love to use that yarn. I think it's super, super pretty. Okay, that's it for the little acquisition segment. And I do have all of these different makers linked in the description box. All right, we got some news this week. It seems like there's a lot going on again. We had a period of time where things were calm. It was like the calm before the storm, because now it's like sock week, fall stuff, Rhinebeck, craziness, membership. It's all going on. So let's go in somewhat of a chronological order. Let's talk about new videos. So since the last time I podcast, there have been 2 new Tuesday videos. The first was the best day ever vlog. This is where I had a weekend all to myself. Kent was out of town, and I was like, well, I'm gonna take myself on like the best day ever. I'm just gonna like do all the things that I love to do. So of course I knit and crocheted a lot. I got to go to the movies by myself. I've always wanted to do that. I went to a double movie, which was fun. I went to Central Park and knitted. I just had a grand weekend all to my lonesome self. I wasn't really lonesome. I super enjoyed my own company. I was glad when Kit came back, however, but it was kind of nice to have just a fun weekend doing whatever, you know, I felt like doing. So that vlog is up. It's about half an hour long. I had a lot of fun with that one. And then a new video just dropped today, actually. This one is 5 sock knitting tips for all sock knitters. So these are some of my like, you know, more basic knitting tips. They may be some things that you've never done before, actually, just because there's some things I'm learning now as a more experienced sock knitter, I would say. But then next week, I'm gonna have 5 more sock knitting tips. So if you're a sock knitter or maybe even a crocheter, there's some things that can be applied to crochet, but I will say they're a little more oriented towards sock knitting. But as you're preparing for Sock Week, take a look at these 2 videos. One's already out, 5 sock knitting tips for all knitters. And then next week's gonna be like 5 more sock tips to up your sock knitting game. Check out both of those. It can help you in your preparations for sock week, and you can use them for summer sock camp or whenever you are making your socks. Also coming up, I'm going to be doing a 6-month stash update at the end of June. I'm going to kind of go through basically how everything has gone over the last 5 months, because technically I didn't start till the end of January, but how everything has gone, review my stash. I'm going to clean out a few more things, just kind of take a look at stuff. So that one's going to be really fun. And then again, I'm going to be doing podcasting every other week through the end of August. In July, I probably will only have one podcast, if I even have a podcast, just because the week of Sock Week is really mostly about socks. There's nothing else. I don't have anything else to show anyway. And we're going to do a cast-on party and a closing ceremony in July for Sock Week. So just kind of depending on how things fall, I may have 1 or 0 podcasts in July, but then definitely June 2 podcasts, August 2 podcasts, just because summer is a bit crazier. And then I want to also take some time off in July. We're going to be going and traveling for our 5-year wedding anniversary. And so I'm kind of trying to plan ahead here, and just like keep you informed, and for myself kind of make my expectations for my own work. Like, okay, it's okay to take a break for a little bit and, go on vacation and stuff. So that's what the next couple of weeks and months are looking like. I also am going to have more crochet tutorials coming out when the, when my Crochet Yarn Cozy Light comes out, I'm going to have some crochet tutorials around that coming out. So speaking of, the Crochet Yarn Cozy Light is coming out on in June 24th, which is a week from Friday. If you're watching this on Thursday, could be closer. So the Crochet Yarn Cozy Light is a crochet version of my original Yarn Cozy Light, which is knitted. So there's this version, which is all single crochet with a lovely I-cord. You can do some fun things with it. You can, put a contrast color for the I-cord. There's also a ribbed version. This one is the ribbed version with the contrast color on top. Ribbed version, no contrast. And I haven't woven in the ends or taken out the markers on these things. Actually, that's one of the tutorials I'm going to show, is how to do a running marker in crochet. Really nice. And then I'm working on this one right now, a ribbed with a self-striping yarn. You don't do anything different, but that's the one that I showed a bit earlier. So that is coming on the 24th, along with some crochet tutorials that go with that pattern. In addition to that, there is a full pattern tutorial included with the pattern, but that will be on my private channel. It will not be public because the pattern is paid. So when you get the pattern, you get access to the full tutorial. But there's some techniques and stuff that are general crochet techniques that I am including publicly here on Knitty Natty. Okay, next up, the Love and Stitches membership is going to reopen for Q3. So the membership is only opening 2 more times this year, July 5th, and then that's when it opens for Q3. And let's see, July, August, September. It'll open again in October, although I'm not sure the date right now because I don't think I established it, but it'll be the first week in October. So the membership will open July 5th, which is a Tuesday through that Friday. And anyone can sign up. It's a mostly social, virtually social thing. We've got Discord to communicate every single day. We have Zooms led by our members if you want to just come and knit and crochet and chat with people on Zoom. We have events that are hosted by me. So for example, this last quarter, we did an interview with by Stephanie Aaron for Crochet Garments. We did one with Leslie Ann Robinson for Brioche. We did some movie nights where we all get on and watch the same movie together, legally. There's a way to do it. I don't know, things change like just depending on the quarter and what else is going on. We also do make-alongs. So we have been doing a brioche knit along and a crochet garment along. This past quarter. Things are changing up for next quarter. If you want to find out more, I'm going to be sending out lots of goodies via, not goodies, lots of like, lots of like info. And then like, I usually send out one of the past interviews we did. I'm going to be sending that out to the waitlist. So you can join the waitlist by clicking on a link in the description box. It just says like membership waitlist. You sign up for that. And basically I just send you like, hey, the membership is opening soon. Here's what's included. Like here, try out Discord. Here's what our events look like. Here's what our schedule is for like weekly Zooms. If you want to see like, does it match my schedule? You can look at all of that. The membership is $15 a month for 3 months. You must sign up for 3 months at a time. So it's $45 for the 3 months. But you can also pay it monthly, but the only option is to sign up for a full quarter, so 3 months. If you have questions, let me know. Join that list and you can also like find out more information and get more. You can get me directly via email. Okay, last thing, because I can tell my brain is like, like shutting down with information. Just the last thing, Sock Week 2022. So Sock Week 2022 is coming up July 10th through July 17th. This time I'm right, it is July and not June. But you can start preparing for Sock Week now. If you want, we still have some merchandise available. Some of the yarns are still available, but I would say they're probably closing soon because they want to be able to get you your yarn before Sock Week. If you're not worried about that, you can also just order all the way through Sock Week as long as the vendor is still selling them. I know that we have wool wash still. We have shark needle stoppers coming back in stock soon. We have stickers coming. What else? The sock blockers I think are closed, but stitch markers I think are still available. Anyway, if you're following me on Instagram and you look at my stories, I always try to post when one of the sponsors says like, hey, I have more stuff ready, you know, maybe there's 5, maybe there's 10, but just keep paying attention there. All of our sponsors are listed on the Sock Week info page, which I'll have linked down below from now until the end of Sock Week. And then, new this week, the Sock Week private events are on sale. So we have 4 levels this year of Sock Week optional paid events. You do not have to pay a dime for Sock Week if you are 1, not wanting to, or 2, not able to. You can participate fully without any of these things. We're gonna have 2 public YouTube live events, the cast on party and the closing ceremony, and you can use any sock yarn you want from Stash or from a local place. You don't have to use sponsor yarn. It's just optional. And then these private events, I've got another page for signups for those, so I will have that down below from now on too. The private event signups will be open until the day before Sock Week begins. So if you're not sure right now, or if you need to wait for like payday or something, you're more than fine to do that. We do have limited spots on 2 of the levels, but they just opened yesterday and we sold like 25% of the spots. So I feel like we're gonna be okay for a little while. Okay, so what are they? So level 1 is Discord. Discord is just an online community. It's very organized, so it's kind of like a better Facebook group or like a better Instagram chat. It's got like organized channels is what they're called, but little conversation topics, and you can chat either through an app on your phone or if you want to download it on your computer. The app itself is free, but our group access is $5 and you get access immediately, and it goes all the way through the end of July. So before and after Sock Week, you'll have this community to chat socks, to get help, to just share photos and inspiration and motivation with all the other sock knitters and crocheters, and I'm in there as well. So that's level 1, Discord. Level 2 is YouTube Lives. So I am doing a daily YouTube Live during Sock Week, starting on the second day. The first day is a public one, it's a cast on party, but starting on the second day, which is Monday, July 11th, through that Saturday, they're going to be private YouTube Lives only for those who have the access. And I'm just gonna get on at noon every single day. We'll chat, we'll kind of check in. Hey, how you doing? What are you working on today? I'll be able to answer questions and also demonstrate things. So if you have a sock knitting question, I can actually use my camera to show how to do something. So that's gonna be really, really fun. I'm excited for that. And so that level is $15 and includes the YouTube Lives and also the Discord. Level 3 is our events. I'm super excited for this year. This is new. We're going to be doing some Zoom events. This is the first level that's limited because I can have a limited number of people on Zoom. So we're going to be doing 2 Zoom events in the evening here in the US, but they will both be recorded. So even if you are not able to watch live or you're only able to catch one live, you will get both recordings for a year, so you can watch it whenever it's convenient for you or watch it again after you watched it once. So the first event is going to be with Boston Jen from Downseller Studio. We're gonna be chatting like podcaster to podcaster. She is a prolific knitter and crocheter. We're gonna be talking about just like how to plan and organize your projects and like stick to a schedule. This is gonna be on Tuesday, towards like the third day of Sock Week, so towards the beginning. And I'm also just gonna do like an interview with her, like find out more about Boston Jen. It's gonna be really fun. So that's gonna be on Tuesday, July, I think it's the 12th, from 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern time. And so again, it's gonna be recorded. If you can't make that time, you can still grab that and get to watch it later on. So that's gonna be really fun. And then that Thursday of Sock Week, our second Zoom event, is going to be a sock expert panel. So we've got 4 sock experts. We have Denise, who is Earth Tones Girl. You may know her from the, oh no, I'm gonna blank on it. What is her heel called? It's something like the Shadow Wrap heel. You may know her from that. She's got a great YouTube channel. We have Julie of Twin Stitches Designs, who has tons of amazing designs and sock designs as well. We have Lisa K. Ross, who is Paper Daisy Creations. Lisa is an amazing designer and knows a ton about socks. And then we have Summer from Summer Lee Design Co., Summer Lee Knits, and she is also a sock designer known for her very colorful, bright, adorable sock patterns. So we're gonna have the 4 of them all in one event, and we're gonna treat it kind of like a panel. I'm gonna have questions for them that they'll all answer, which will be really fun to hear from 4 different people who all knit, design, make socks, what their answers are gonna be. And of course, if you're there live, you can ask questions as well. If you're part of this event level, which is $25, so $25, you get the 2 Zoom events, also the YouTube Lives from level 2, also the Discord from level 1. So all the levels include previous levels. You'll get to have both of those events, and you'll be able to ask questions live in the Zoom, or if you can't make it live, you'll be able to ask questions in the Discord, and then I'll make sure to ask them for you so then you can see it on the recording. Okay, last thing. Last thing is level 4, and this is the Fish Lips Kiss Heel level. So this includes everything I've already talked about, the events, the YouTube Lives, the Discord, and then it also includes a mini course that is taught by me on the Fish Lips Kiss Heel. The Fish Lips Kiss Heel is a pattern from Patty Joy White, and for every single person who gets the Fish Lips Kiss Heel mini course, I am working with Patty Joy and sending her compensation for the pattern. So don't worry about that. She knows that I have this course, and she has access to it and everything like that. So she gets compensated for it. That's what I meant to say. She gets compensated for the pattern. So the Fish Lips Kiss Heel mini course includes lessons taken straight out of my Perfect Fit Socks course. So if you have Perfect Fit Socks, don't get this Fish Slopes Kiss Heel class, you already have these lessons. You don't need them. You already have them. But if you just want to learn the Fish Slopes Kiss Heel and you're not worried about perfect fit socks and you just want to do the heel part, that's what this mini course has. So it's all pre-recorded lessons that you have access to immediately, so you can watch them, you know, in practice before sock week, or you can watch them during sock week and do your first Fish Slopes Kiss Heel then, whatever works for you. But you have these lessons for life, lifetime access. You have the lessons, you have the events, you have the YouTube lives, and you have the Discord. So hopefully that explains everything. I don't want to like keep talking about it because I know not everyone is going to be interested in that. So that's it. More information will be in the links down below, and in subsequent weeks I will just say to go to the links. I promise I won't go through them every single time. Okay, I think that's everything for news. So let's go to the next segment. Okay, let's talk about life. A lot has been happening since the last time I talked to you. I've had 2 really fun knitty-filled weekends, which has been amazing. And in between, I've been doing just a lot of stuff around sock week, just getting ready, getting that prepped, getting ready for the actual sock week event. And so last 2 weekends ago, I got to meet up with a bunch of different knitters and crocheters. So first I got to meet up with Lisa, who is a new friend here in the city. She's a crocheter, so we met up for coffee, which is really fun. That's one of my favorite things to do. I love meeting people for knitting and coffee. I'm like, perfect. I don't care what day of the week it is, what time it is. I'm gonna fit it in my schedule. I love it so much. So I met up with Lisa, and then later that afternoon, we went to Brooklyn to a park and met up with a whole bunch of knitters. And it was so much fun. I got a picture of us in the park. It was a beautiful day. We were in the shade. We were like sitting on these blankets, just hanging out for a couple hours together, chatting about knitting. It was fantastic. It was so much fun. And I just found that through Instagram. I like saw somebody, oh no, I got added to like a group or something, I don't know. And so I love being able to connect with other knitters and crocheters. Super, super fun. So that was last weekend. It was great. And then last week we went to see Dear Evan Hansen on Broadway, which was amazing. I brought my sock that I was showing earlier and got a ton of knitting done on my sock. I was in the ribbing, and I did the ribbing, and then I went into the leg, but I wish I had finished the ribbing before I got in there because I wasn't sure how many rows I had left. I was like, okay, before the lights went down, I'm like, okay, I've got 5 rows of the cuff left. Let me see if I can keep track. So like every time I went around, I was like 1, 2, and then I forgot. So then I just was like, well, I'm just gonna start the stockinette stitch now. I'll just match the other sock to it. So I'm pretty sure I have 19 rows of ribbing instead of 20 on that cuff. But anyway, we saw the show. It was amazing. And it was a lot of fun. We're trying to go to at least 1 Broadway show per month because hello, right here, New York City, we're super close to Broadway. And so we just want to see as much as we can while we still live here, which is for another year. Then this past weekend, Kent and I dropped Toaster off at a new dog sitter, and we went down the shore to New Jersey, which is what people say here. I'm trying to be like a local, but I feel still feels wrong coming out of my mouth. I'm like, down the shore. I don't know. But we went to the Jersey Shore, went to the beach with a friend, with the Little Wolf Knits, who is the designer of the Twisted T-shirts. And it was so much fun. We got to hang out with her and her family. We played the games. We did mini golf. We had ice cream. We knit a lot. I didn't crochet. Yes, I did. I crocheted on my Crochet Yarn Cozy Light. We just had a blast. It was so much fun. Just, going away a little out of the city, hanging out on the beach. It's so surprising to me that it's so much cooler here than in Texas, and it's not totally miserable to be outside. It's actually a little chilly. Oh yeah, I have a picture of Kent and I on the beach. I'm actually wearing my Something Cozy, which is a mohair sweater. So yeah, it was a little bit cold, so we didn't actually get to do any like swimming in the water or like laying out on the beach or anything, but it was totally fine because we still got to get outside and relax, and it was fantastic. And then Toaster was at a new dog sitter that we found on Rover, and he had such a good time. They sent us so many adorable pictures, and they would get them to like they watched several dogs, plus they had their own dog. So they would get the dogs to all like sit together on like a couch and take a picture of them. And it was so cute. I loved getting those photos. So he had a great time. The next time we're out of town, he's going back to the same place to party with his new friends. So I finished the last of the Bridgerton books. I'm not totally done with all the Bridgerton books, but the last of like the core series that goes through each of the siblings. I just finished On the Way to the Wedding, which was Gregory's story, Bridgerton book 8. And then I had the a trilogy, or not a trilogy, a collection. And the next book I thought was Violet's story, who's the mom, but actually it's not. It's called Because of Miss Bridgerton, and it is about a different family. So then I started like researching it, and I found out that I have like 4 more books that I can read. There's like a whole prequel. So this is a prequel. There's a whole like prequel series. Then there's like these novellas, and then there's Violet's story that I need to grab. So I'm super excited that I'm not done with the Bridgerton books yet, because I've enjoyed them so much. And I didn't really watch anything this weekend. I'm really wanting to go see Jurassic Park, the new Jurassic Park, whatever it's called, because I love those movies. So hopefully we will go see that later this week. Okay, lastly, weekly wins. Really, I feel like my big win over the past few weeks has been Sock Week. It's been going really great. I feel so much better about it this year than last year when I was like having a chaotic year with moving and quitting my teaching job, and like I just felt so unprepared. This year I felt like really quite prepared. I'm gonna do like I feel like keeping really good track of things. Our sponsors are always amazing, and this year I feel like really connected with them and really just, you know, solid, and like telling them like things that may happen or like getting them prepared. Of course, we almost never have enough stuff and it always sells out, but I feel like that's a great thing because that means you're loving it. And then these events this year, this has been really fun to like plan those, and I'm excited to have Sock Week and actually get to do all of the events and try those out and see how the YouTube lives go and the Zoom events go and the Discord goes. That just opened yesterday, so it's like brand new. So it's interesting because I think that it's hard to know how much somebody, or how much work or how much somebody puts into a make-along until you're running one of your own, and then you're like, oh wow, this is a lot of work, because it may just kind of seem like, I don't know, like it just like happens, like, you know, you just pick a prize winner, you just like, I don't know. But it is a lot of planning and a lot of work and coordination and emails, and it's been just really good this year and so much fun. And I feel like it's a really great event, if I do say so myself, for being such a short make-along. I think it's gonna be a super blast. I'm really excited for it. That just reminded me, I didn't say this earlier, but if you are thinking about joining the membership in July, or if you are a member, we do have some events during Sock Week that are for members only. And so we'll be doing like a midnight cast on party with our members. Maybe one other thing, I'm planning those right now. So just if that's something that may like tip you into like joining this quarter versus like later in the year, we will be doing some special things for that. Anyway, that's it. I've talked so much today. I will see you again in 2 weeks for another podcast. And in between now and then, look for some more sock videos, another sock knitting tip video, and some crochet tutorials. And of course, I'll see you on Instagram too. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.